Welcome back. Pizza Hut Africa will be launching their African Heart Literacy Project next week in Johannesburg. It's estimated that over 280 million people in Africa cannot read. The aim of this project is to transform a simple pizza box into a red reading case to help open doors, opportunities and improve the reading ability for many people on the continent. And for more on this initiative, we're joined by Pizza Hut General Manager Ewan Davenport. A very good morning to you, Ewan. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi.
So why was literacy chosen for this campaign?
Well, Pizza Hut have been working on literacy projects for many, many years. And we've recently relaunched literacy projects across the whole globe. And this is our African version of it. So we're excited to be working on this.
It looks like a pizza box, isn't it?
That's exactly right.
Take us through this and the contents inside.
Well, usually it would have a pizza in it, but actually this time what it actually has in it is it has a reading kit in here with scissors, pens, glue, and loads of other reading materials that help inspire and motivate children to want to read and to learn to read.
Okay. So are these donated goods, or do you buy them and then distribute them?
So what we're actually doing this week is we're going to be kicking off a journey which actually starts the whole initiative. So in Cape Town on Wednesday, we actually kick off a journey, and then we're going to travel throughout Pizza Huts all the way around Africa, and that's kicking off our Slice of Africa project.
Yeah.
So what happens when we do that, people then have the opportunity to donate in store, and all of those donations and the money that we will collect will go into providing red reading boxes for children within the communities that we serve.
Wow, great initiative this. Just, how much do you think impact it will have on the country and the continent when it comes to literacy overall?
Yeah, well, as you mentioned, 280 million people in Africa can't read. And I truly believe that this will have a fundamental impact as we look across the whole continent. I've actually had the privilege to be in a school locally in Soweto where we actually gave these boxes out to the children, and just seeing the inspiration on their faces when they're opening up the lid and starting to use the materials, it was just inspiring.
I can imagine.
So I really do think it will make a big difference.
Yeah, it certainly will. And in your opinion, Evan, what needs to be done and by whom to improve the literacy levels on the continent?
Well, I mean, there's many things that people can do. I think this type of initiative is a very strong start. I mean, our partner for this initiative is an NGO called READ, and they're doing phenomenal work to actually really drive forward literacy rates across the continent. So I do think the more that people can do to get children active and learning and engaged in books, I think is a brilliant thing. So it can make a real difference.
And what stands in the way of literacy in South Africa in particular?
Well, I think it's just access to materials, I think, is the major thing. Right. So I think many children across the continent don't have books at all and don't have the money to be able to buy the books and get access to them. So I think we're making a big difference by actually getting over that hurdle and getting over that barrier through this initiative.
You said it will be distributed throughout the continent. Which are some of the countries will benefit from this?
Absolutely. So we have a presence across, in 13 countries currently. So we've got Tanzania, Ghana, Djibouti, we're also present, Zambia, Zimbabwe, South Africa, of course. So all of the donations will go towards reading boxes in that country specifically, and that's where we'll be rolling this out as a big initiative.
Yeah, and I understand that we'll be visiting 14 cities in 12 countries over 22 days.
Yes.
At the end of this campaign, what are you hoping to achieve?
So ultimately, this is just one part of what we believe to be a longer-term literacy initiative. So we're kind of kicking this off with big media events in every city and bringing children to our restaurants where we'll be donating these reading boxes. I'm effectively just the person to carry the boxes and get these into the hands of the children. But ultimately, moving forward, we'll continue to build, as we are currently a relatively small brand, but we're hoping this is the very, very start of a big Pizza Hut Africa literacy initiative that we can continue for many years to come. And
for those willing to partner with you, what do they need to do?
Well, ultimately, the way to do it is you can donate online. So we currently have a donations website, which is www.pizzahutafricanliteracyproject.com. But also it's about visiting the restaurants and also get engaged with our partner charity READ as well. I think there's lots of opportunities and lots of ways that we can make a big difference across our footprint in Africa.
Pizza Hut is an eatery. What made you go for this particular initiative?
Yeah, well, I think we've been excited this week. So we just recently opened our 100th store here in Gandhi Square in Johannesburg.
Okay.
And ultimately, I've always had a big passion for the things that we can do to make a difference beyond just the restaurants. So ultimately, when we decided that we wanted to kick off with a big initiative, we thought, well, actually, that's quite exciting to be able to link up our passion for developing and growing our communities with something along the lines of literacy, which is a big issue in Africa today.
So are you hoping that perhaps this will be carried through in the long term, or is it short to medium term?
No, absolutely. I think as we grow as a brand and as a business, we hope that getting in there and doing something like this right at the very beginning will continue to build and grow in the long term as well. So we're very excited about this.
Any prospects of perhaps engaging the government? Because I think they might have an interest in this.
Well, there's no reason why we couldn't do that. Yeah. I think absolutely if we believe this will be a great success, and then this is the start of something big, so we could also go to take those steps if we thought that was right.
Indeed. You know, a journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step, and it just did. Thank you so much for that, and we appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
All right, that's Pizza Hut General Manager Ewan Davenport sharing more on the initiative launching in Johannesburg as they embark on a journey across the continent in a donation drive that will ultimately see Red Reading Box inspiring children. Let's go for an air break now. Before break...